All right, so let's get into our first topic, of course. So we're going to be talking about Tory Lanez. So, Tory Lanez was convicted in 2022 for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion, also known as her real name Megan Pete, in 2020 and sentenced to 10 years in prison. But now new evidence and a mounting political push are casting serious doubts on the conviction. Representative Paulina Luna, who serves on the House Oversight Committee, says she reviewed evidence, that, quote, actually disproves the conviction, unquote, and announced new evidence via Twitter, calling for Governor Gavin Newsom of California to review the case and issue a pardon. So you guys, my question to you, Brandon, is going to be, if the justice system got this wrong, what or how do you guys feel that this should be handled?
Man, it's just sad, man. Because listen, if Tory Lanez never would have got stabbed, would we even be talking about this right now? Like, he would have just done his 10 piece and you get out when you get out. But now that he got stabbed at, now everybody's like, maybe he really didn't do it. Like, I don't really understand that. And another thing, not everybody that's locked up is rightfully, charged to the right thing. So it's like, if Tory Lanez, you know what I'm saying, if he gets out and does all that, what about everybody that was wrongfully convicted? So do they need to get stabbed up for them to get a retrial? Like, it just sucks because it's like, if you're in there and you not supposed to be in there, you're just not getting out. And it's like, there's no way you can really compensate for that. The only thing that you really can do, which is give them a boatload of money. But even that, like, you lose like years of your life. Like, you miss years of with your kids and like your family and all that stuff. So like, the best thing that you can do is give them a boatload of money. But even that is like, it's never the same. Like, you missing 10, 20 years of your life. Like, you can never get that back. So it's just like, it just sucks, man. Like, and I mean, if Tory Lanez wasn't Tory Lanez, I mean, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. It would just be in the pen, give you 10, and you get out when you get out. So, I mean, it pays to be a celebrity, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Pays to be a celebrity.
Bro, what? No. Whatever you're saying, no. Bro, the bodyguard came out and said that. I don't think it don't matter if he got stabbed or not. The bodyguard came out and said what he said. I'm pretty sure the stabbing didn't have nothing to do with it, but it do make it a lot worse, for sure. Tory Lanez deserves a boatload of money when he gets out, if he gets out. If they were wrong, he deserves a boatload of money. He should, those people, I wouldn't say Meg, because Meg is, but that other girl, the third
Kelsey.
person, lock her up. I need 20 plus for her. She gotta go.
Dang,
she gotta
20
go.
plus?
Yeah, she committed, it was attempted murder if you ask me. No big deal. It's probably attempted murder right there. Nah, man. Like, if Tory didn't do it, free Tory. If they find, well, it was a lot of stuff in that case too. Like the no DNA on it. It was like a lot of stuff that don't add up.
Yeah.
And then for him to be locked up as long as he's locked up, I think 10 years is egregious for that lack of evidence right there. But also, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he get the time after for the gun? He was a felon with a gun, right?
So yeah, he got enhancements added on, which is mainly for people who are violent offenders, right? That already have like a violent criminal record.
Is he one of those, or?
I think they were saying that his record was actually pretty clean. It wasn't spotless,
okay,
but it wasn't.
Okay.
It shouldn't have had those enhancements on it.
Yeah. I mean, if there was time for that, even if it was, that's like a community service thing. Like, I don't know. I think 10 years is way too long for what he has, and to go back and look at it and like give it another shot at it. Yeah, I mean, 10 years, that's a long time, bro.
So
that's a long time for what?
No. I was just saying, you were saying community service. What were you, community service for who?
Well, for Tory Lanez, like if he's not a violent person, and because a lot of people are saying that he got his time added on because he was in possession of the gun.
For sure.
Which is true. Like, yeah, you get time, but like 10 years for that, and then like being found guilty with that lack of evidence, I just think 10 years is egregious.
You're thinking overall he should have just had community service for what happened?
Hell
no. My bad. I'm just trying to understand.
All within the event of things happening.
Right.
So if there's no DNA on this stuff, his DNA, which it should be, he should also have GSR on his clothes.
Right.
He should, but it's like it's all of that stuff is missing, and it's just like it's iffy. It's iffy.
Yeah.
It's iffy. I don't think the evidence was stuck well enough.
Nah,
Originally.
yeah, it didn't.
I don't think the evidence stuck well enough originally. But if they go back and they do the retrial and look back at the stuff like that, and he gets out to answer the original question, yeah, I think they definitely need to pay him for his time that he's missed. For sure, I think the other people involved should face consequences at the end of the day.
Lock the judge up.
And I think it should be that.
Lock the judge up. What are we doing?
The judge needs to be fired.
That's crazy. Yeah.
The judge needs to be fired.
Yeah. So we all kind of pretty much have the same take, and I feel like it's kind of like a general consensus on the whole thing. So if the justice system did for in fact get this wrong, right? I'm saying the same thing. Whatever happened to Tory Lanez should also happen to Meg and to Kelsey, right? They should be on trial for whatever that looks like, right? Because I was looking into it too. It was just saying like the way the trial is set up, it's for Tory Lanez. So it's not for Meg or Kelsey. So they would have to be tried for something else, right? Whatever that is. But I want that to happen. I want them to have a conviction of the same thing that Tory Lanez was supposed to be doing, right? I want the court of public opinion to pretty much just ream Meg and Kelsey the same way that they were going in on Tory Lanez, because there's a huge difference between forgetting or leaving out some things of the story and then blatantly lying, right, about the whole situation. And in this whole situation, she changed up her story multiple times, right? She changed her story up multiple times, and Kelsey also alleged that she attempted to shoot Meg Thee Stallion, right? And the reason why I say attempted is because Meg's first story was that she stepped on glass. Do y'all remember that? Her first story was that she stepped on glass, and then she said the reason why she said that she stepped on glass was because she didn't want the police coming and making a scene bigger than what it was, right? But then later, she told the police officers that she was shot by Tory. All right, we're going to hold that there. The x-ray in the ER didn't show any bullet fragments in her x-ray, right? So let's just say that there were bullet fragments in her foot, but they just didn't show up in the x-ray. When they removed the alleged bullet fragments and put them in evidence, now they're not in evidence anymore. You know how crazy that sounds? Right? So now it's missing evidence. So the thing about it is, with the justice system we all know is flawed, of course. Humans made the justice system, and then you have other humans who are not perfect, who are trying to enforce the justice system, right? With that being said, this thing with the courts and the justice system are controlled by people who have bias, who have corruption, who get paid for leaking stories or making convictions and things of that nature. And this Tory Lanez case, just even looking through the whole thing, is just infested with a bunch of missteps, right? So I don't know if you guys know, when I was in the military, I was a police officer as well, right? And I handled a lot of evidence and I handled a lot of things, but you realize that these are just regular people who are supposed to be doing the right thing, policing other people, right? And I'm telling you, we had so many people get in trouble. But anyway, I digress. With that being said, the sheer fact that Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion have the type of rep that they do is the only reason, like you guys said, is the only reason why this is even getting the light. There are so many other people who have stories that are similar to this, or stories that are, different but didn't have a fair trial, that won't ever see the light of day from the public and the media, right? And that just sucks. Yeah. So, that's what I got on the situation.
Nah, they should have been famous.
Doesn't know how you can convict somebody without all the evidence. How do we come with a conclusion if we don't have everything? Like, it should just been, we should still be in trial.
Especially with a jury. Like,
yeah.
Really...
They had dang, I don't know what he is, but I think he's a lawyer or whatever. But he was just going through kind of the facts. They were doing like that press release, where he was just saying how they had the evidence after Tory was stabbed up. I don't know if you guys watched the whole hour-long thing, but he was saying how the whole thing was rushed. It was pretty much a push for basically a benefit in the was it a governor? I forget, but basically a push in his favor to get a high profile person behind bars. Basically, a high profile person isn't above the law. Let's put him behind bars with the harshest sentence to make us look good, right? And then he started going over the facts, saying like you guys said, the DNA on the firearm had a 0.01% chance of being Tory Lanez DNA.
And that's so crazy because that's the biggest part to me.
That's
how
the
is that
main
not
factor.
the biggest? How is that not the biggest part of the story?
No DNA.
That should have altered everything. Right.
Yeah, but
that
it wasn't.
Alone should have altered everything.
Yeah, but it wasn't presented in court, and then right. So then there was 0% of his fingerprints on the magazine, right? So just to touch on those two things, if the story holds up to what Meg said, where he was holding the firearm and he was pointing it at her and he was saying Dansby, it don't matter if he sat there and he wiped it off. It would have been all over his hands. The DNA he wouldn't have been able to clean off the firearm enough to be able to. Not enough time, not enough. He don't have the cleaning products or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the movies. You can't just wipe it and then think that you don't have anything on it. It's not like that. But and then on top of that, two other things. Tory Lanez DNA was the only one. His DNA was the only one that was taken on the scene. So out of all four people, Meg included, even though she didn't shoot herself, all four of them, only Tory Lanez, only his DNA was taken. And then on top of that, there were any shell casings that were supposed to be at the scene of the crime. I think that didn't make it from evidence either. So they were just saying the evidence was handled. So you have two instances. The evidence on scene wasn't handled correctly. And then the evidence from the ER also wasn't handled correctly. That's two separate instances. So I'm one of them people, it just doesn't pass the smell test for me at all.
And that's the only reason I said that. That was the only reason I was saying that. Because, that's what I was saying about Tory being stabbed. If Tory was never stabbed, will we be reevaluating the case? We would have still just been like, all right, it is what it is. Tory's in jail. That's why I'm like, it brought it to light. All right, well, maybe we should reevaluate. Why did it take him to get stabbed for us to reevaluate the case? That's what I really don't understand.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Shawan, were you going to say something too?
The girl, what's her name? Kelsey? Didn't she get full immunity for her testimony?
She did.
And it's why would you need that if, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what he was saying too. He was saying that, and that's really odd, to plead the fifth when you're not under investigation, and also get granted full immunity when you're not under investigation is
odd.
Very, very odd. Right? Why would that be the thing? And then there was confession when this all happened in 2020 of Kelsey confessing to shooting. I don't know if you guys heard that around that time. And then a separate confession from the bodyguard recently, because he couldn't stay on his conscience, that she confessed that she shot at Meg herself. So my thing is with this kind of just shows I don't know. It's one of them things if our justice system can't get things right with evidence and the truth and all this scrutiny and stuff like that, how can anyone else, how can you believe any story that you hear, right? It's just, you can say whatever, you can do whatever, and then even if Tory gets free, everything is pointing that Meg and Kelsey could walk off scot-free as if nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? That's wild. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
That reminds you of if someone accused somebody of rape and then you get off you didn't rape them, but then nothing happens to the person that was accused you of raping someone. It's just all right, well, you got free. It's good. Nothing happens to someone lying about being raped. Something like that. When those certain situations happen. So it seems like something like that is the person making the situation oh, he did this, that, and the fourth, oh, he didn't do it, oh, okay, never mind, cool, my fault. Nothing happens to that person, for putting them through that,
yeah, for sure.
I just want the person who did what they did to accept a consequence.
We're gonna see.
If Tory did it, bro, do your time, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Just take a rest. If he didn't, and it actually was Shorty, well, nothing can happen to her. She has full immunity.
Not true, right? Because she has full immunity in this case right here as it stands. So let's just say this is case 100, whatever. If they open up a new case, she doesn't have immunity from that, right? If you you shot at somebody, yeah, you don't have immunity from that.
Yeah.
But
I don't see the. I just, it's hard for me to see why Meg would lie about being shot too. Like, why would she lie about who shot her? If you know what I mean, like, why would she lie about that?
Yeah.
Like, what's the motive behind lying about that? Like, let me just put it on.
Weren't they beefing because he was like seen with like somebody else, like when they were like trying to date or something?
Yeah, but that's a really serious thing.
You never know someone's motives though, so that's a fun part.
Yeah, and somebody's emotions behind something. People don't care. Like, at the end of the day, people don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that that's what it is, but you don't know. Just like Brandon said, you don't know whose motive is what. Like, if you've wronged me and I think it's serious and egregious enough, I don't care about you going to jail. I don't care about anything that you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just speaking in general, right? But especially if, let's just put the mindset that he actually did shoot at her, I don't care what happens to you. If somebody if that was true, if he really did pull a gun out and that's actual facts, she doesn't care if he goes to jail, how long he goes to jail, what happens to him in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, the lying portion of it is crazy. So the rep, Paulina Luna, she's supposed to be releasing more evidence tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, right? So we'll have to see what she says about the evidence and all that and how it goes. But my other question to you guys is, what would satisfy you guys if if the justice system was wrong? Like, what would you guys want? Jail time? Would you guys want a fine for Meg and Kelsey, or how would you guys?
If it was me, I would just want some money. If it's like
if you were Tory Lanez, you would just want money?
Like, no, I'm saying if I was wrongfully, then I would want some money. You know what I mean? But if it's like in this situation, I feel like they should, maybe have to do some time. I mean, like, not saying Tory should not have no money because he already has money, but it's like somebody should have some consequences. So like, Meg or whoever, they should either have to do some time or, like Shawan said, some community service. But I mean, community service is a lot. But nah, they got to do some time. Or I think a fine is just like a slap on the wrist because they already got bread. Like, it's all situational. Yeah. Like, you're a rapper, like, you got money. Like, a fine is nothing. Like, Chris Brown just got out of jail for $6 million. Like, okay, cool. Like,
it's nothing.
Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like, for somebody like of that statute, like, you gotta do some time or something like that. Like, it gotta mean something to you. Like, it can't be something that you already got. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Man, if I'm me in the situation, I'm like, give me the bread. Give me the bread. But the right thing, I guess the fair thing would be, yeah, y'all go, like, somebody has to take this. Like, the wrong person in this, which is not me, Tory Lanez, if I'm, definitely not the wrong person in this, you got to take some type of consequence behind this. Like, I'm not about to sit behind this wall, get stabbed, and I get out, and nothing happens to
anybody? Nah.
Yeah, matter of fact, go finish my sentence. Go finish my sentence.
No, but I know personally, like me, I wouldn't, like, I don't wish jail on my worst enemy. I don't wish jail on my worst enemy. So the human being that I am, is just like, man, just give me the cheese, bro, and get out my face.
What about Meg though? What happens to her? Nothing. You just scotch free. You cool?
If it's me, I'm just.
It is what it is. You did your time.
Yeah,
you get your.
That's me. But like I said, I know how it should be or how it should go. Like, nah, I did this time. I got stabbed. Nah, bro.
So even if you're a multimillionaire, and the time you did, they calculated out you only get $100,000 for being behind bars, right? You're cool with that, and then that's crazy. Not me. Let me tell you. Nah, hell no. Hell no. No, yeah, I get you. Yeah, because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, 2 years, you're not getting that back, right? You done missed 2 years. You done missed 2 years with your kids. You done missed 2 years with your family, and it could have been worse. You could have been missing 10 years, right? My whole thing is, if it's me in the situation and I'm actually Tory Lanez and I have money, it wouldn't it wouldn't satisfy me. Tory Lanez also said that he was going to work on prison reforms once he gets out or whatever. If he gets out for this evidence that comes out, which is good. But I need something to happen to you, because if the situation is that I didn't shoot at you and I tried to stop somebody from shooting at you and I did 2 years, you gotta do something. You gotta. It ain't even about getting stabbed. I'm not like, he's not even just in jail. This man's in prison. All right. So it's one of them things where it's like, I need you to do some type of time. I don't care if it's a year. Yeah, I don't see her doing 10 years. That's maybe wild, but you gotta do at least 2. Do at least 2 years. We cool. I call it even. That's my take.
I like it.
Yeah. Good take.
That's how I feel. Good take. All right. W take, man.
I see both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
I just know which side of the coin I'm on.
Yeah, no. That's real. Because everybody's not going to agree, and that's what the debate is for. So that's what it is. That's funny.
But I understand. Right. I might not agree.
Yeah. That's gonna be the motto. I might not agree. I understand, but I don't agree.